Good morning, everyone. This is Desmarie Guyton coming in to give you words and thoughts of encouragement. I want to thank you for inviting me into your home, into your car, into your kitchen, wherever you may be listening to this broadcast. Thank you for having me to come to your home. Today, I want to talk a little bit about our thoughts and our choices. There are so many things that's going on in the world that people aren't really stopping to think about how to maneuver, and it all deals with our thoughts. So I want you to do a little exercise. What I want you to do is to close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine a tree that is green, flourished with leaves. Every branch of the tree has delicious fruit and is good and sweet, and it continues to produce more fruit. Can you see the tree? Okay. Now, what I want you to do is to imagine another tree, a tree that has no leaves. A tree that is dried and brittle. It barely has life. It can barely stand in the dirt. The roots are starting to reveal itself as it leans to the side because it's dying. Can you see that tree? Okay, now I want you to open your eyes. The title of this segment is called The Tree of Good and Evil. And these are our thoughts. Our thoughts have the ability to change how we live, whether positive or negative, or whether good or bad. It is important that we get our mind in alignment with the destiny and the purpose that God has for us, or it will become an illusion and we will never accomplish our purpose, our destiny. In our life, everything begins with our mind. We are spirit, soul, and body. But it is in our mind, our thoughts, which control us. That gives us self-control. It is in our mind and our thoughts that we have the ability to make good choices or bad choices. But I think it's important that we make good choices. In Deuteronomy 30:19, it says, "This is the day the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your children may live." God has given all of us this gift, and it's the gift to be able to choose. And it's up to us to choose right. As natural men and women, we have the ability to whether we choose life or death, blessings or curses. When we think and choose, we are causing things to happen. We are actually creating matter, which is scientifically called gene expression. And as I was exploring this, it just had me to go deeper to find out more of what gene expression is. And gene expression is the process by which the instructions of our DNA are converted into a functional product, such as a protein. And the protein, it actually, it controls our thoughts, and it helps us to recall our thinking or have us to think all day long. We also are choosing to in our thoughts. We're choosing to build. So we're making choices and we're building upon those choices. We are building upon the thoughts, the memories that we have. And that's what gene expression is. And it's just so amazing of how God can actually work in a scientific way, how he created science. That's just so amazing to me. But this is how it works in our brain. So when thinking occurs, it causes matter, which builds up protein in our mind that controls the brain, and the brain controls the matter. So when we think of things, we think of it, we speak it, and it turns into something. As God does, as God spoke, he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So God thought it, he spoke it, and it was created. And now we have light. And so you can see how the power of thought and words work together. It makes matter. And God has given all of us that power. He's given us the power of sound mind and spirit. And he has made us in the image of him. So he's given us that power to be able to create matter, to create, which is so amazing. Thoughts like these, as we build, they actually produce branches. They're creating a new stem. And so let's going back to the trees when I talked about the tree of good and evil. So either you can build a tree that is negative and continue to let those stems grow and branch out, or you can build a tree that is good, that's positive, and that produce good fruit. So if you're thinking negatively, you're building a tree that does not produce good fruit. But if you're thinking positively, you are building a tree that produces good fruit. And what we want to have transpire is as we continue to think on good things, as we continue to manifest good thoughts, we want those good thoughts to actually take over the bad thoughts. And it takes over that bad tree, because our thoughts is what actually turns out to be real. Our thoughts are a real physical force which occupy the space and turns into matter. And so we want our thoughts to occupy a lot of space and taking back territory to where it turns into matter that is good, matter that we could use for good, to assist other people, to create jobs, to create opportunities for others, and even yourself. It's something that is producing good. God has designed all of us to think and choose good. When we choose healthy choices, we make good protein. But when we choose bad choices, when we make bad decisions, we make bad protein. In Proverbs 23:7, it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So I guess the question should be is, how do you think? How do you think? The way that the world is operating today, we can see demonstrations of people's thoughts, from music to television to what's on reality TV or somewhat reality TV to what we read. We are actually seeing those thoughts being produced. So what are your thoughts like? Zig Ziglar, he quoted, life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of it is how we choose to respond. Everything comes from the way that we think. Again, God says that we are made in his image, so we are not victim of our circumstances. God has given us the ability to stand back, survey our thoughts, by using discernment and wisdom and choosing wisely, by applying his word. This is why self-help books really don't work as much, because it's not tied to God's word. If you think about it, and just how we come up with the laws here, of how the things that we're supposed to abide in, the structure started from the Bible. But again, so if it started from the Bible, it comes from how God thought, and God's thoughts were downloaded into man, to where the man could actually write it out, just what he does with us. And that's how powerful thought is. So I guess the question is now, if I were you, I would be having this question. So how do we choose to think positively? How do we choose to move on that positive path? What moves do we make? And going back again, we are not victims of our circumstances. We have the ability to choose right because, or make good choices because man was all made in the image of God. And so if we utilize what he has given us, he's given us everything that we should need to move in this world. He's given us his word that we could actually abide by and stay connected to, and he will guide us in our thought process. Jesus says that he comes that we may have life and have it more abundantly. If we want to have life, we have to choose right, like I was saying before. We have to make careful thoughts that produce things that are good, that will produce things that's walking in your purpose, that are producing things where it's helping people. And you can sit back and see if you're really honest with yourself and the choices that you make, if it's for good or if it's for bad, if it's for self-serving, like you, selfishness, or if it's actually producing something where everybody can use and it will be good for everybody to use. So I think it's something that we should start practicing. I really suggest that this is something that we put to use, we start practicing it, and we start moving and making great choices and living abundantly and walking in our purpose, because we are all called to live a purpose great life. And this is where I'm going to close. And I want you to just ponder upon this throughout your week. And again, I thank you for inviting me into your home. I thank you for just letting me chat with you for, I guess, about 15 minutes here. I guess that's how long this took. But just thank you again for having me, and enjoy your day. Remember to continue to be encouraged. Also, follow me on my Facebook page. It is Facebook, Des Marie Guyton. And you can also follow me on Twitter, it's Des Guyton. And on Instagram, Des Marie Guyton. Thanks again, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.